You are being manipulated. Right now. By someone, by a system, or even by yourself. Have you ever felt pushed to do something you didn't want to? Like you were being guided by an invisible force? Maybe in a relationship, at work, or just in a simple conversation. That's manipulation. It's everywhere. It hides in compliments, in guilt, and fake urgencies. The problem? Few people realize they're being manipulated until they've already lost control of their own lives. But today you're going to learn 7 rules that act like a mental shield. If you follow these rules, no one will use your emotions against you. You'll see the game before it even starts. And the first rule is the most important one. Manipulation doesn't start with a shout. It starts with a smile, a premature compliment, an innocent question, or I'm just trying to help. Manipulators play dirty but make it look like they're on your side. So the first rule is recognize the game before you move. Every manipulator follows patterns. They test limits, watch your reactions, and find where to bend you. If you don't notice, you're playing on the board without even knowing you're in the game. A classic example, someone gives you something for free, but later charges you with guilt or blackmail. It's an emotional debt disguised as generosity. The key here is simple. Distrust those who offer too much without being asked. Watch out for people who always understand you too quickly. And never forget, those who play fair don't need tricks. Now that you see the game, it's time to learn the word that scares manipulators the most. Manipulators love explanations. The more you talk, the more material they have to twist. So the rule is clear. Learn to say no, and that's it. No explanations, no beating around the bush, no trying to sound nice. When you say no and start explaining, you're apologizing for setting boundaries. And that gives the manipulator a gap to argue, insist, or make you feel guilty. Example, I can't go out today because I'm tired. The answer, but it's just a quick one, it'll do you good. Now try this. No. Silence. Silence makes those who try to control uncomfortable but strengthens those who decide firmly. You don't owe explanations for protecting yourself. You're not selfish for preserving yourself. You're not wrong for saying no. Anyone offended by your limits shouldn't be so close to you anyway. And speaking of reactions, now let's understand how manipulators feed off your feelings and how to cut it off at the root. Manipulators live off your reactions. They provoke, distort, dramatize, all to knock you off balance. Because when you react, you give away emotional power. That's why the third rule is, don't react. Observe. Someone yells, gets offended, throws a fit. You don't need to respond right away. Breathe. Watch. Understand the game. Stay calm like you're watching a bad play. When you observe instead of reacting, the manipulator gets confused. They don't know which button to push. This is invisible strength, silent power. Example, someone says, so you're going to ignore me now? You just look at them neutrally and don't give back the emotion they expect. In that moment, their game loses power. Remember, reacting is instinct. Observing is mastery. The next step toward mastery is to recognize the most common trick of all, false emotional urgency. If you love me, you'd do it now. It's just a quick decision. You need to decide fast or you'll lose your chance. These phrases sound urgent, but they're traps. Behind the rush lies a dark truth. Anyone who wants to control you creates artificial pressure. Manipulators know that under pressure, you think less and obey more. They create chaos to force you down the path they want. And the less time you have, the more likely you are to say yes. The rule here is simple but powerful. Distrust anyone who tries to rush your decisions. If the offer is real, it waits. If the person respects you, they give you space. Answer calmly, say, I need time to think, and watch how the manipulator reacts. That reaction reveals everything. Because the truth is, emotional urgency is the mask of manipulation. Now that you've learned to hit the brakes, it's time to stand firm in what no one can take from you, your values. A manipulator doesn't invade all at once. They dismantle you little by little. First, they praise you. Then, question your choices. Soon, you're making compromises you never imagined. This happens when you're unclear about what's non-negotiable in your life. So the rule is, have your values defined like a personal code, written, untouchable. What don't you accept? What are your moral limits? What stands above any person or situation? Those who know their values don't bend for approval. Those with firm principles repel manipulators naturally. Example, if respect is a value for you, anyone who yells or humiliates gets cut off. No drama, no doubt. Write down your values. Defend each like sacred territory. Because those without fixed values will be shaped by others' values. Now let's reveal one of manipulation's sweetest and most dangerous tricks: compliments with hidden intentions. Not every compliment is kindness, some are traps. And the most dangerous manipulator doesn't attack, they seduce. They praise your weaknesses, exaggerate your strengths, put you on a pedestal, all to create an invisible debt. Because after too many compliments, you start feeling you owe something. That's when they subtly, emotionally, and insidiously collect. Example: "You're so understanding. I knew you'd get it." Translation: "I'm counting on your kindness to not contradict me." This is the emotional bait, compliment to control. The defense: accept compliments with gratitude, but don't turn them into obligations. Remember, those who overpraise at the start often want to buy your silence in the end. So next time someone showers you with sudden adoration, ask yourself, what will they want in return? Speaking of giving too much, here's the last rule: never reveal everything about yourself. Every piece of information is a tool, or better yet, a weapon, depending on who holds it. When you reveal too much, you give the manipulator a detailed map of your mind. They learn your weaknesses, your fears, your pain points, and what makes you give in. The 7th rule is: be kind but mysterious, transparent but selective. It's not about being cold, it's about being strategic. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Example: you share that you struggled with rejection in the past. Days later, the person threatens to leave every time you say no. They're using your vulnerability as a tool of control. True intimacy requires trust, and trust is earned, not handed out freely. Keep parts of yourself for those who prove they deserve it. Because those who reveal everything hand over the keys to their own prison. Now that you know all 7 rules, it's time to close this chapter and seal your mental freedom. You've just unlocked 7 mental shields. These aren't just tips, they're armors. Each was designed to cut the invisible strings pulling you without you knowing. You learn to spot the game, say no, keep your calm, your values, your time, and your privacy. This doesn't make you cold, it makes you free. The truth is harsh. If you don't protect yourself, you'll be shaped by those who know how to manipulate. Now the choice is yours. Go back to autopilot, or live consciously, shield raised, soul armored. And remember, those who don't protect themselves will be used. Those who learn to see will never be fooled the same way again. If this video made you think, share it. Someone close might be trapped without knowing it. And if you want more content like this, subscribe. Here, truth is your best defense.